This terrifies me. Not the cold, not the distance, not the effort, the unknown, the unseen, the irrational. I have an irrational fear of open water. In fact, water in general, sharks specifically. Now, before you laugh, yes, I know I grew up in Scotland. Yes, I know there aren't sharks in swimming pools. But when I was 8 years old, I snuck Deep Blue Sea out of a VHS rental box whilst I was on holiday. Horrific idea. Since then, sharks. Everywhere. Even in a blue-tiled pool in the middle of a landmass, I'll sneak a quick check behind me just to make sure. So before I get in the water to reconfront that fear, let's talk about the time that I stared that which I feared most right in the face. Back in South Africa in February 2024, I got into a shark cage, wondering which option it would be. A, confront my fear and not die, thus alleviating it entirely, or B, being actually in the water with a shark for the first time, thus making the irrational rational. It was both and kind of neither. The cage obviously helped, but it was simply an amazing experience. The crazy part, it was kind of calming. These water weapons couldn't get me, and I got to bask in the water with them. And my use of the word bask there is highly intentional, because we do have basking sharks off the coastline of Scotland, and I would 100% have an absolute freak out if I saw one of them, even if I was fully in the knowledge that it was a basking shark without teeth and therefore posed no danger to me in the first place. But anyway, I reckon the cage helped, and this experience helped, for sure. These were copper sharks, and I think 7 of them showed up throughout the morning. What definitely helped my fear is that these seals really didn't seem arsed about the sharks, and they definitely knew that they were there. So if the seals didn't care, maybe I shouldn't either? I don't believe there have been any great whites in this area for a while now, and I was surprised at how cold the water was, given how very not cold South Africa is. But stood here right now, about to get into the open water for the first time in 2025, that voice in the back of my head is still there. The one that is whispering sometimes, and probably soon to be shouting, what if? My second biggest fear is that you do not live up to your true potential. And whilst that is a borderline, emotionally manipulative, hard sell, let's hear from our OMNIA Performance athletes as to how they're living up to their true potential.
I think I saw Fergus's YouTube channel just after COVID, about a year after I'd finished playing rugby, and I was looking for that kind of purpose. And I do remember thinking, whilst I was at university, I'd love to run a marathon, but I'm never going to be able to do that because I don't want to give up gym and strength training and things like that. Came across OMNIA that was kind of offering the opportunity to do both. When I signed up to the Gold Coast Marathon, I did the marathon and strength program, achieved my goal with the running, and then also my squat got stronger. I was amazed that this actually works. I don't think I'll ever forget that first marathon finish. After thinking I'd never do it, you know, the sense of achievement, knowing that you've done that, I think that moment of happiness will be something that always drives me to get across another finish line in the future.
The OMNIA community has been massive. It's been great sort of speaking to like-minded individuals, people who are sometimes doing the same events as you, often doing similar sort of things, and just people that you talk to that otherwise you wouldn't really get to know in the same way prior to training with OMNIA and sort of getting a bit more to speed with my nutrition. It was probably more guesswork. There's a bit more science to it now. That's come through trial and error, but also through a lot of the conversations, you know, I have with other people that I've met through OMNIA, and then a lot of the resources that's available as well.
The accountability of it is a big thing, particularly for something I think like triathlon training, where it's an individual event. There are communities, of course, and there's triathlon clubs and group rides are great, but a lot of the stuff you do have to be committed to the kind of early mornings and late nights yourself. So that made a massive difference. So I like how the training was set out. It was really clear. The principles of it were what really worked for me. And it made a big difference, yeah, for sure. I
hybrid train just so I can say yes to things, pretty much. It gives me a chance to be prepared for everything almost. And I just don't, why would you not want to hybrid train, you know? You can do a bit of everything and still enjoy it, and yeah, get to lift heavy in the gym and run outside in nature.
So if you're looking to level up your training and join a global community of like-minded individuals, all taking action on their reason why, then check out the link in the description down below and join us at OMNIA Performance. Excitingly, this will be my first open water swim since my hip injury, and as I can't currently run or ride outside, this will be a very much welcomed dosage of nature. I mean, look at this setting. It's so peaceful, inviting, and on a day like today, There's no reason to be scared. Swimming has always been one of the biggest hurdles for me, not just physically, but mentally. Especially open water. There's no pool tiles to track, there's no lane markers, there's no edges, there's a sense of less control, and the big one, no visibility. When I can no longer see the bottom, mine starts to clench, if you know what I mean. Today is about more than just covering a bit of distance and getting back in the water. It's about confronting that fear. And as I've experienced in the past, it normally takes me a few sessions to get comfortable again. Even though right now I can laugh at how ridiculous and irrational this is, phobias aren't meant to be rational. This is something I know I can get comfortable with. I've done plenty of open water swimming, with my furthest being just over 10 kilometres, swimming Loch Earn here in Scotland, end to end. I'd love to tackle a few more lochs this year, as I really like the idea of going from A to B with the swim, rather than just covering the distance in the pool. The difference between running outdoors versus a treadmill, I guess. Oh God, it hurts so much. Do I look like I'm submerged or just standing? Okay, so here we are in the water on a beautiful day, ready to tackle what I'm hoping will be about 1 to 1.5K. But the real focus is just wrestling with my mind a little bit to start building momentum towards some long distance open water swimming for the rest of 2025. Fear is simply a passenger now. What's the fucking phrase? Fear is simply a passenger now. It's up to me to be the driver. Let's go. Perhaps 1 kilometre to 1,500 metres was a little bit optimistic today, because as soon as I lost visibility beneath me, I did not have a good time. But today is proof that fear doesn't need to be conquered, it just needs to be faced bit by bit, reps, iterations. And whilst I've covered 622 metres and at points, you know, was very much aware that I was getting back into this and wasn't quite as comfortable as I have been in the past, I really enjoyed that. I know that next time I get in the water, I'm going to be better off. Microdosing fear. How's that for a life hack, everyone? Not heard that one before, I don't think so. Coming to a podcast soon near you. Wow, it's slippy here. This probably isn't great for my hip either. No, that's okay, that's okay. Anyway, I have thoroughly enjoyed that. I hope that you have enjoyed this video as well. If you have done, please do comment down below with your irrational phobias or fears. We all have our unique quirks. Mine is that I am irrationally scared of sea creatures / sharks that do not exist in the area in which I live. And, you know, that's what makes me me. Oh my God, these rocks are very unforgiving. This is the worst outro I've ever done. And that's pretty much it. So please comment down below with your phobias, your irrational fears, so that we can all laugh together and celebrate our unique quirks. But 622 metres covered, data on the screen for you just now. Not the fastest of swims by any means, but I was sort of turning around and floating around a little bit as I went. Onwards and upwards. See you next time.